I missed my first slide. Okay, so every couple of years I do some ridiculous Ignite for you. So this is my story of learning foreign languages, not programming languages, spoken languages. So this has grown out of 2008. I started an MBA in global business, and my team was like full of people from like Portugal and the Netherlands and crazy places, and like they spoke all these languages, and I took Latin in high school, and I don't remember any of it. Like, I remember agricola est poeta, the farmer is a poet, makes no sense at all. So now I'm in these global groups with these people from Mexico and Brazil and all over Europe and parts of China, all this stuff. Some of them speak 2 languages, all our classes are in English. Some of them speak like 5 or 6 languages, and I was feeling really inadequate. So I started learning Spanish, which was kind of an adventure. I started with flashcards, I used some CDs, I tried Rosetta Stone, then I had a group tutor, then I had a private tutor, and I can get as far as reading trashy magazines, right? Which is kind of where I am. So, aprender español es muy difícil para mí. The nouns can be masculine or feminine, and because that makes sense, right? Like, what the hell's going on there? And some of these programs have really strange examples, like the cat is in the sink. That's great for the cat. So I travel a lot. I don't actually own a CD player right now. I figure if I'm beating Nathan and Sarah Novotny on travel, like, I'm probably losing at something else. So I started using Duolingo, which is an app on my phone, right? I carry it with me. It's kind of adorable. It has little gamification things on it. You can earn stuff, and it's kind of cool that way. And it has a handful of different languages. For English speakers, you can work through Spanish, French, Italian, German, Portuguese. And I have a pretty good grounding in Spanish, at least to read it, right? I've got about 1,000 words in my vocabulary. So I figured, all right, I'll start there and do some review. And so there's reading components and writing components and listening and speaking tasks and all these things. And all the languages follow a similar growth pattern, right? You start with the same basic vocabulary on all of the languages. So I figured, well, why not learn them all, right? So I loaded all of them up in my app and started working through them. And I learned in the first couple of lessons that the French language in Duolingo, like, I can't understand it at all. Like, my French is pretty shitty anyway, but, like, had no idea what's going on. So English is so freaking lazy, right? The word the is the. Every time you use it, it's always just the. And we have no flair. We don't have accents. We don't have umlauts. We don't have any of this cool stuff that other languages have. So as I'm working through, I was figuring out, these are all European languages. Maybe there's some things that are similar. So I started looking at stuff, and like, the top right is Spanish, and the bottom left is Portuguese, and they're kind of close. And then there's like these gendered nouns things, and like Italy and Portugal and Spain, an apple is female, and then Germany is like, no, apples are male, right? Doesn't make any sense. I have no idea. And then you're looking at like the differences between how you make nouns plural, and it's all over the board, right? You have a different word for the, of course, like you do, except in German, where you don't. And then you add an N at the end on some of them, and some of them you don't. And you've got like weird verb functions for things like yo como is I eat, and then ich esse is like very close to I am in German. As a German heritage, I understand that your being and your entire reason for living is very close to eating. I get that. So you've got the boys eat, and like niños and meninos are kind of close, and then Italian's out in left field with ragazzi, and you're like, where'd that come from? I don't understand this language at all. And when you're looking at plural groups, like, all bets are off. And in Italian, you've got glilomini with all this other crap going on, and random accents and crazy stuff, and then German's down there with a bunch of umlauts and stomps right in on that. So what I've kind of picked up is that noun genders are maddening. It's really about spelling and not really about gender at all, because it doesn't make any sense. And the dissimilar things are actually what stick in my head, right? So, gracias, grazie, danke, obrigada. Thank you.